Hello everybody and welcome. This thing is a bit far away. There we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another episode of the Blight Surgery. For those who may be new here, this is where we go through our Blight Lord tier and above members, the list they have submitted on our Discord, and we basically go through list review, give feedback and thoughts and things like that. So the more information you can give us as a Blight Lord /Death Shroud tier member, the more we can help you out. And obviously we got the chat here is also going to help us out a little bit as well, because sometimes I miss something that other people can see. And yeah, we'll sort of go from there. How is everybody doing in the chat? As many as 11 months. Woohoo! Mr. Chuckanari, in it almost a whole year, Mr. Oh, sorry, let me put this behind that. I don't want too many notifications getting overdone by that. What was that? It was alert box. You come right to the top. Good sir, alert box. There we go. Excellent. Almost a year, bloody hell. Thank you for the ongoing support, Chuck. Really appreciate it, mate. For those who don't know, if you want to get your list done on Blight Surgery, you can consider becoming a Blight Lord tier and above membership. Blight Lord and Death Shroud tier get access to the Blight Surgery, but Plague Marines get access to our Discord, and brand new now as well, we have opened up the painting guides to everyone who is a member. So it used to be a Blight Lord and above feature, but in terms of like trying to help the community out a bit more, we have lowered this restriction now. If you're paying the $2.99 a month, you get the downloadable PDF tutorials to do plasma, to do some eyeballs, all these kind of things to help you like sort of become a painter, rust tutorial, all these cool little tricks that are done by my missus, who's a very, very, very good painter, much better than I am. So give it a consider if you are considering it. It's $2.99 a month. It's not too bad. It's like a coffee or something. But part of that, a like and a subscribe helps. So very, very quickly, briefly as well here. Hey, Tentacles, thank you. 16-month member milestone. Woohoo! Been here since the start of your 40k journey. Really glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Yeah, quick fun one. I don't know if anyone's actually been aware of like YouTube drama that's been going on at the moment. I know it's like not really relevant to any use, but just very quickly before we get into it, basically what's happened is what we believe has happened, because YouTube is not open as anything, that YouTube is now, we've all seen, all YouTube channels have seen a drop in PC views, and we're trying to figure out why. They basically, if you use an ad block now, whereas previously, you'd obviously get your ad blocked, but it would still register you to come in and watch my video, so I would get a view. This is no longer the case. So if you have ad block on and you go into one of my videos, YouTube will now refuse to even give me the view. So I don't even get to have your view on the number, which then obviously helps promote it. Now, obviously, small thing aside, you do what you got to do. You want your ad block on, I'm not going to tell you not to, but if you want to really help the channel, you could whitelist us. But again, I'm not going to go begging for it. But just be aware, it's very annoying, because then that takes away like view revenue, ad revenue, exposure. It's a YouTube thing, not your guys' problem. Very, very annoying. So yeah, so the likes and the subscribes at the current moment matter more than ever. So if you could take a second to hit that little thumbs up button, it really, really does help more than you thought, because I'm being robbed by a corporation. Right, so let's get into it. So if you are in the chat tonight and you have a list on here, feel free to give us a shout out in the chat, and we'll try and get yours in here, because it's always good to have people who are in chat get their list covered, because then we have a bit of back and forth and stuff like that. So that's a good way to start. But apart of that, I will start just we've got Terica. We do Terica, yeah. So Mr. Terica here. We'll start here. Finally got Morty, built him. Holy, he is a very big boy. He's a very cool model, very fun model, of which I was very much close to taking to LGT. And then in a panicked frenzy at about 20 minutes past 12, bear in mind the deadline was 12, I swapped it out for 10 Blight Lord bricks. So I am taking a Blight Lord brick to LGT. My big worry is that World Eaters would just come out and one-tap Morty with the stupid Slaughterbound and stuff. And not sure if any of you have looked at the meta representation for LGT. World Eaters is the most popular by almost doubling the second. So pretty good meta call on that one from my head to not take Morty. But again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It was it definitely shows you that meta chasers do be chasing metas. I haven't covered it yet, Tentacles. We'll probably be covering it tomorrow in the Tuesday stream when Dave and Will are back on. We'll be covering it then more than likely. So let's get into this, because that's what you're all here for. So Terica, just want to say thanks. I entered a beginner's 1K tournament after playing about 5 games. Thanks to the work you guys did, I managed to snag first place. Hell yeah. That's not just the work we did. Obviously, you've earned that win. That's excellent. That's awesome to hear, mate. Super happy to get you win. That's actually really, really impressive. Well done. I'm moving up to 1.5k soon, and this is the list what I've put together for it. Would love your insights. Okay, so we've got a Biologist Putrefire here coming in. Are we playing? I'm going to assume, are we playing? Yeah, playing VV. Okay. Demon Prince of Nurgle with the Revolting Regeneration. Then we've got a Lord of Contagion. Then we've got 5 Plague Marines, 5 more. So we're going away from the 10 brick. We're going to 2 5-mans. I actually don't mind this. Like 5-mans with the 1 CP roll, everything can often trade up quite heavily and quite nicely. Especially if you have got one backed up white, like you said, a Biologist Putrefire, who makes one still then have crit 5s. So that you can basically have like a more supercharged one depending on what you need to get out of and fight. In the small 5-mans, I tend to like the plasma guns a bit better than over the melter gun. But here you can see you've got one of each, so it kind of like depends on the matchup. You can swap it out in between. Do you like that? Plasma gun. Oh, you got plasma gun. Yeah, plasma gun, melter gun. Yeah. So yeah, totally happy with that. Plague, Blight Launch, Plague Spear. Yeah, really good loadouts. 2 times 3 Death Shroud Terminus. That means we've got 1 squad being led, 1 squad going solo, which again is not the worst thing in the world. There's nothing wrong with going solo. I sometimes, I'm trying. Well, let's finish the list first. So you got 1 to like again go and kill infantry. The other one's nice and hard hitting with Demon Up and a Nurgle, so I do like that. 2 squads of Poxwalkers, triple FBD drone with the heavy blight launcher. I don't want to call it an FBD drone. I meant to say HBL drone. And a Chaos Rhino. So to answer that one, Tentacles, because it's in here right now. Well. See, triple HBL drone, I think with 3 of them, is okay without a Lord of Virulence. It's more so in VV as well, because you also can just use the free strat, or the strat whenever you want it to reroll shot amounts. So this rerolling the shot amounts often means you end up getting a good shot amount from each one, which kind of offsets the no rerolls. I obviously would prefer to have an LOV, but points are tight here. Now, what I will say right here, this is like pretty solid list straight off the bat. You've got 2 squads of Poxwalkers, one of them can give launch to Demon Prince. The 2 little 5-mans mean you don't have to overcommit for sending out, especially because he's only 1.5 thousand points. The question that I'm going to have here mainly is what sets up the drop for the Death Shroud Terminators and whether you need this second squad here. Because there could be an argument to turn that into 2 units of Chaos Spawn if possible. The Death Shroud don't much kill you, but like a lot of people near me have been running 2 squads of Spawn. And I wish I could have got onto it for LGT, but I only own 3 spawn, so I've got to get another one painted up. I just didn't think for the time to get it ready. I think having 4 spawn is actually really good. Like, because again, nothing really trades efficiently against it. Now that being said, however, you are rocking the 5-man marine, so I think if you did that, if you went for 2 spawn down here, I'd actually alternate this probably into a larger 10-man brick to just double up on the synergy. So actually, in this instance, because you're rocking the 5-man MSU Plague Marines, I'm fine to have the second Bare Bones Death Shroud squad. I think you will deal with things mostly pretty well with this list. I think you've got all your things covered. You have the ability to clap real damn hard with both the triple HBL drones focus firing, plus you've still got your standard Lord of Contagion with Demon Up and Nurgle. And these Plague Marines can either trade or, again, just go and hit something pretty hard with full rolls to wound. 2 Poxwalker units is always important. Obviously, you've got Sticky Objective, which unfortunately does kind of mean you are having to leave one of these squads on home. Unfortunately, we can't fit in. Again, that'd be the other thing I'd go for potentially here would be to drop this second squad of Death Shroud, pick yourself up a Tallyman, because that's then going to free your second squad of Poxwalkers to play up the field and make those initial trades happen. And then you're also going to have 110 points spare, which could either pick you up like a solo Lord of Virulence to mark targets, though I don't think I'm going to go that way because you've already got quite a lot of points in characters. I would probably just use 100 points to either get like a Mythic Blight Hauler or a Fetid Bloat Drone. But again, it depends how much value you're getting out of this second Terminator drop. If you're really enjoying the value of that second Terminator drop, even without the character in there, I don't dislike it. But I feel like if you wanted to have more like forward mission play, I would drop the Bare Bones Death Shroud, get yourself a Tallyman, and then use those 110 points you've got spare there to pick up, you know, like I said, another Demon Engine, one of the 100-point variations of Demon Engine. And then if you've got, I don't know if you're already floating like 5 points or something. If you are, you could potentially even consider upgrading this Demon of Nurgle up to, what do you call it? To, what's the word I'm looking for, people? For Furnace of Plagues potentially, just for the more consistent damage output. So yeah, I think those are really only suggestions you got here though. But I think for 1.5k, this list is really strong. You've got a really nice solid firing base. You've got some good amount of training units. You've got a nice big hammer unit of Death Shroud. The Demon Prince of Nurgle is already such a pain in the ass for people to deal with. So I think this list will do you well as at the same sort of points level there. So just consider what I said there. But I feel like if you're comfortable with this and you've been playing this, I'd stick with what you've got, because it's got all the things that I like to see in a good VV list, which is good little shooting platform. Normally you see like 3 bloat drones, and then at 2k you'll see like 2 haulers join as well. So you have like 5 demon engines. You got a couple of thingies. Chaos Spawn I would like to see, but again, because you're playing the MSU Plague Marines, I've already covered where that's good. You've got all the bells and whistles here to make this work really well. So I think you'll do more than fine with that Terica, honestly. Another direction you could potentially go actually is also, again, you drop this Death Shroud here, use the 60 points for the, use the 60 points here for a Malignant Plaguecaster, make this into one big 10-man squad, so now that becomes your hammer unit, and then use the 100 points float in to, like I said, pick up some spawn or something like that. And then you can use the 20 points if you've got any points floating to maybe match Contaminator or something. Again, depends which way you want to go with it. You can either build into a 10-man Plague Marine brick, you can build into this current one you've got where you've got a bare bones 3-man Death Shroud, or you can go away from that, bring in an extra Demon Engine and get you a Tallyman, which frees you up a Poxwalkers to play middle. I think either of those are going to be a good way of like making this list. I wouldn't even say better, I'd say like side options to take the list. So so think about which one of those sounds good to you and probably go from there, mate. In the UK, how much of the Death Guard range is out of stock? Do you remember? I'll have a quick PP for you. Give me 2 seconds, I'll give you a quick PP. Probably should say PP. I meant like peeking, not like pissing. For 140k, Armies of Chaos, I think it's actually too bad. UK genuinely doesn't have too many stock issues. Lord of Poxes, the Combat Patrol's out of stock. Literally everything else is in stock. Par Typhus and the Fetid Bloat Drone, of course, and Defiler. I know the Chaos Spawner out as well, so I couldn't get Chaos Spawner 42. And for some reason, the Greater Blight Drone, which they still sell, even though it has literally 0 rules. So yeah, a few things, but probably not as bad as abroad, to be honest with you. Now, so thank you for submitting that, Terica, and hopefully some of those words there help you, mate. I think there are a couple of ways you could take it. Ellie Jason, thank you so much for becoming a Plague Marine, mate. I really appreciate the support. Again, once you become a Plague Marine, go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the See Perks button, get yourself into our Discord. Once you're in there, link your Discord, go in your Discord settings, go to connections, link your Discord and your YouTube together, and that will unlock the full server for you. So appreciate the support, though, mate. Thank you so much. What is a fun proxy for spawn? There's a couple of things in Age of Sigmar. Some people use Rat Ogres. People used to use the old Plague Toads that I don't think you can get anymore. Anything else in that? Gallowpox Infected were pretty cool at one point. There's a couple of things. Yeah, printed, someone said. Not going to endorse that, technically. Is anyone in the chat who wanted theirs looking at, by the way? Hi, hey, new Diff Guard player from Italy. Aiden is my new best friend, I think. Appreciate it, Dodo. Appreciate it, mate. Welcome to the Death Guard, mate. Welcome. So then we got, we'll go Kyle next. So Kyle here, the Pestilence Machine. We've got a Barrage Putrefier, a lot of Poxes, triple Malignant Plaguecaster, one of them rocking in a Plague Bus. So I'm going to guess it's going to be, so we've got 10 Plague Marines, 5 Plague Marines, Tallyman to sit on home. So I'm going to guess it's Malignant Plaguecaster, Barrage Putrefier in the 10-man brick here. One Lord of Poxes with a 5-man squad to go and punch something, plus another... Plus, that's the Plague Bus there. Okay, so there's 2 very, very chunky Rhinos. Then we've got a 10-man squad of Blight Lord Terminators here. Actually, really, really good. I'm going to assume this is... VV by the looks of it. I think it is. It's probably going to have the most plain VV. Because you don't need a character for Blight Lord Terminators in VV, because you can just 1 command point, give them 4 rolls to hit and wound, which is really good. Got a unit of Spawn, triple effect Blight Hauler, 2 Predestructors, and 2 Poxwalker squads. The question saying, I'm thinking of taking this to an RTT. Am I going to regret not taking HBL? I don't think you regret it. So Death Shroud add a different element to the game for us, like how we can play, because we have obviously the 6-inch deep strike, such a defining ability. But there's nothing wrong with just going back to basics of Warhammer. Like, rhinos are genuinely like annoying to deal with. Plague Bus is annoying to deal with. Like having to crack a transport and then the guys inside is what's make transport so good. You've still got spawns to slingshot forward. Your Blightlord Terminators, because they aren't reliant on a charge, like if you can make a charge, go for it, but their main output is in the firepower, so being able to just drop in 9, 12, doesn't matter, just like as long as you're in 12 of a target and press a CP, you can blow away a unit pretty damn reliably, so that's pretty good. On the spawn, make annoying little trades still, so like I still don't mind the spawn. You've got Mephitic Blight Horse to blow up some vehicles. The Predadestructors, very interesting one. So Predadestructors genuinely might actually be sort of pretty good in this meta right now. We have a lot of World Eaters, and a lot of World Eaters run a lot of infantry. So, and a lot of this infantry, we've seen a lot of success from Khorne Berserkers, which are big 20-man squads. Now, here is the problem when it comes to Khorne Berserkers. To get the Predator buff on the Khorne Berserker, you have to shoot it. When you shoot it, it's going to blood surge, so you need to make sure you've positioned, like, again, 12 inches away. You're not going to go for a 6-inch deep strike charge. So actually, in that specific matchup, having the Death Shroud might actually make it worse. But the Blight Lords can deploy 12 inches away, which means even if you shoot them and they roll a 6, they max blood surge 8. Just make sure nothing else is near them and close to them. And then basically, when they blood surge, they won't be able to tag your Blight Lords, which then means your Blight Lords can then fire away with the extra AP of the Destructor, the extra AP of being in Contagion, because again, that will pull them into Contagion if they come to blood surge near you. Or you can just shoot them from one of these 5-man Plague Marine squads, that also works. And you can then unload like absolute hell into them from these Blight Lord Terminators, which will be talking AP4 Flamers, AP3 Bolters, AP4 Autocannons, AP4 Blight Launchers. Really stupid. Like tons and tons of damage can be dealt there, which is really interesting. So I don't think you're gonna. So because you don't have a lot of virulence, and because you are not running Demon Prince, your CP is going to be more stretched. You got a timer, that's pretty good, that's pretty decent. But that means like I don't actually mind you not running the HBLs because you don't need the reroll shots that much because Predadestructors are fixed amount of shots, Mephitic Blight Holes are fixed amount of shots, and the Death Shroud Terminators you've kind of always got to keep a CP in case you fail that 6-inch charge because happens way more than you think. So I don't think you're screwed. I don't think you're going to regret it. I think it's just a complete different build, and it's probably not something we've not explored that much. You may miss a little bit of melee punch because you don't have that hard-hitting Lord of Contagion Death Shroud package that a lot of armies will take at least one of. But again, you still got 10 Plague Marines there with all the bells and whistles, and you still have a lot of Proxies there who can join 5 Marines, who can hit semi-okay. But again, your list is more focused around shooting. Melee's more of your cleanup, so as long as you play with that knowledge in mind, you're not looking to make those 6-inch charges and try and wipe someone out. You're more of a close-range shooting list. So I actually don't think it's too bad, to be honest. So I think, honestly, I don't think you're screwed. I quite like it. I just think maybe see how the Predators go. If the Predator doesn't end up working out for you, I would simply then go and swap the Predator out. 2 of them, I don't know if 2 is great at the moment. I've seen 1 be played. I have seen 2 before, though. It's all a matter of meta and where you're at. If you're in an infantry-heavy meta, they're going to get a lot of work done. They're going to do great, especially combined with like Plague Bus as well, making those Flamers AP4. That's going to be rancid against things like, Khorne Berserkers, etc. So give it a whirl is the best thing I can say to you. Honestly, give it a whirl. If I saw this list against me, I don't think it's an easy game. I think it's a bit scary. I won't lie. And again, you will have to understand you don't have the HBL drones, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about rolling 1s on shots. I think you know what you're going to get out of your Predators, so it's a bit more reliable. That's the way I'd look at it, Kyle. But I actually think I think it might surprise you how well this list does, actually, mate. Eli, if you're in, so we have a Plague Surgery and a Blight Surgery channel on the left. Plague Surgery, if you're a Plague Marine tier member, you can drop it in there. Blight Surgery is only for the higher tier paid members. But if you are in the chat right now and you have just, like you said, you've just got a Plague Marine, if you put it in there, I'll make sure I cover it today as a welcome to welcome to the community. So if you just put that in there, the best thing to do is when you put it in that channel, mate, tag me as well, just to make it easy for me to find me. Don't everyone be tagging. Just like if you're live watching and you want me to look at yours, tag me in your own. You can even just reply to your own comment and tag me. But please, when I'm offline, don't start tagging every single one of them. I don't need to wake up to 500 tags in the morning. Okay. Did I have a quick chat with the chat? Molten the Curse, Cultist Box, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Love watching these list discussions to get so many ideas from my own. I'm glad to, mate. I'm glad to hear. Does 10-man Blightlord Brick work outside of DLC? Oh yes, 100%. Like so you can make it work outside of DLC. You can make it work in VV. -1 damage is still a drug on 10 Terminators with 3 wounds each. You can 4 rerolls to hit and wound for 1 CP on a stick. They loan up your Demon Prince. They're not too bad in melee. You can go Champions of Contagion with them and just have a giant brick of T9. Although I would argue that maybe the Death Shroud worked better in that one. Potentially, because you don't have -1 damage. And then in DLC, obviously really good. Flyblown Host are also pretty good. You get Scout on them. They get permanent stealth. You can bring a Blight Horde to give them -1 stealth. So -1 to be hit and -1 to be wounded. That's pretty tough to deal with. So yeah, they have good uses in all different attachments right now. It's just a bit of how dynamically the Death Shroud can play that overshadows them. But I think right now could be a good time for, especially with more infantry armies coming back into the meta with those nerfs to knights. I think knights still gonna be around, but I think Blight Lords could get a chance to come out and play a little bit more. I mean, I'm taking them to London. I'm going to see how it goes. I don't know if it was the right choice or not, but I want to give it a whirl. I like the fact they're just also tougher. Like, it's the same points as the full Plague Marine Rhino package in VV, because I don't need a character for them. But it also has a 4-up invulnerable. It's also a toughness higher and a better save. So swings and roundabouts. Doesn't have sustained 5s and lethal 5s, but it does still have the 4 rolls to hit and wound and a lot of guns. So I'm hoping it like sort of evens out there. Fez, let's go you next. I'm a quick sip of my drink. There we go. Okay. Death Lord's Termies, hell yeah. Death Lord's, I love this attachment. This attachment has grown on me so much. When I first started, I was like, meme. And then you play it and it's so much fun. So we've got a Lord of Contagion with the Warp Rock Talisman, another Lord of Contagion, Lord of Virulence, Vile Vigor, which is the... so Warp Rock Talisman is the uppy downy enhancement. Vile Vigor is the +1 movement and reroll all advanced rolls for this unit. Tallyman Typhus. 10 Blight Lord Terminators with all the bells and whistles. Again, yep, left your flail at home. Good. Flail is bad, unfortunately. We don't need to see... we don't need flails right now. 1 spawn, so that might be a contentious point for me. I might argue for 2 spawn. 1 Death Shroud Terminator, 2 Death Shroud Terminator, 3 Death Shroud Terminator, a Fleshmaw Bloat Drone, 1, 2, 3 Haulers, 1, 2 Poxwalkers. So, the Fleshmaw saved you from my wrath. Because the very important thing about this attachment is to enable. It's like to drop in and enable something. Now, one thing I have seen is people don't want to give up too much shooting because this attachment lost a lot of points, like a lot of Death Shroud. So what I have seen happening is people, instead of going with this 3rd squad of Death Shroud, people will drop this Death Shroud squad here, run the character soloed like Typhus. Typhus can then become a 3rd enabler because if you're on turn 3, he can drop in 9 inches away. You can spend the CP on him while he's in reserves because you can do that. You can target units in reserves with command stratagems. Use a stratagem to give him +3 inch contagion range, so he drops in 9 inches away with a 12-inch contagion aura and can set up a 6-inch deep strike, from reserves to enable the rest of your units. And then they use the other points, these 160 points here, to basically try and either pick themselves up because if you had those 160 points right now, you've actually got 260 points here. So that could pick you up like a spawn. And then you could then pick up like or 2 HBL drones right there. That's 240 and float 20 points. So then you could have a bit more long range shooting in the list. You'd have 2 of those. So again, it depends if you want that long range shooting. If you want a bit more of a pressure aggression list, you could also swap those points out there. You could drop the 160 points here, pick yourself up another more aggressive bloat drone kind of play there. Also, you have the ability to tech into a 20-man brick of Poxwalkers with Typhus in there to do the silly mortal wound thing. Different ways you can go about it. So it depends. If you really want to commit to these triple Death Shroud brick, which again, nothing wrong with at all, you obviously just take the hit with the long range shooting. So you need to have a bit more of an earlier go turn. So you've got to have a go out there. You do not. So this list does work because the Blight Lord Terminators do not start in reserves. This unit starts on the board 100% every time. That is why the Lord of Virulence is here with Vile Vigor to give it the reroll advance and a reroll advance and +1 move, because you have the stratagem to give it assault weapon, so this unit can start on the board, move an average of like 10 inches every single turn and still be shooting. So this unit starts on the board, and the Death Shroud you keep the 1 uppy downy squad on the board. If you play all 3 squads of Death Shroud, you keep one of them potentially on the board if you're worried about early aggression with the uppy downy, because it can always uppy down when you need it to come in and be aggressive. But if you feel like your opponent's going to be super scared and stay back, you can put all 3 squads of Death Shroud plus characters in reserves and then do a big drop. Even the uppy downy can come in on a drop on turn 2 on its own, go and kill something as long as it can kill it and end in a fairly safe place, because then it can pick itself back up with the uppy downy. So on this one you have basically on the board you've got Blightlord Terminators, one uppy downy squad, all your demon engines, your poxwalkers, your chaos spawn, and this extra bloat drone you've got here. So there's actually quite a lot on the board, and a Tallyman. The only things you have in reserves normally are the 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators with with Lord of Contagion and with Typhus. But again, you can pull that out as well. So again, if your opponent's being cagey and they don't, or against like knights, if you're against knights or custodians and they don't have loads of screening stuff, you can put more in reserves. Just be aware, hopefully they're not going to rush you down. If you're worried they're going to rush you down, then obviously keep something on the board. That's why I like putting my Death Shroud uppy downy squad on the board, because it has that initial be like, don't come near me, I'll charge you, and then it can still go up into the air to play that sort of like defensive, that offensive role afterwards. So there's quite a lot of play to it, but it is a lot of chunk. So yeah, again, if you're happy to take the hit on the long range firepower, because in this one your longest range gun is the rockets, and you're not going to expose them to shoot rockets, so really it's 18. So it's very much about staging, which again, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you stage really well, and on that go turn, you bring out the spawn, you spread the contagion where you need it to be. Because bear in mind, you can also like drop in 6 away with, and then put the extra contagion on those guys, potentially tag more things on turn 3, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's probably the variant of list I would probably go to. I don't know if I would do the bloat drone here. I think I would probably, for me, I would probably have these. Would I put these 3 into Blight Halls? Again, this is the hard bit. The points ones hit this one really hard. Because again, all the Death Shroud. So I feel like I've dropped this 3rd squad of Death Shroud. So I just run the 2. The Blight Lords, and then have a bit more shooty demon engines. But this is fine, honestly. Just be very careful not to lose this Chaos Spawn unit, because this Spawn unit is going to be so critical. You need to really make sure this doesn't get thrown away. I would feel more comfortable with 2 Spawn. I would even drop this Flesh Mower for another Spawn, potentially. Unfortunately, then obviously you float 20 points, and there's not really too much you can do with that. Unfortunately, it's just kind of tis what it is. Because again, silly annoying. You could put Face of Death on someone. It's not the worst thing in the world. So you could just do that. Just because I love the fact the spawn at 8-inch move and can go through walls and have that scout to get those early staging points quickly. So I feel like the spawn are more valuable than the one. But again, this is probably more durable point for point because the invul and the higher toughness. But swings and roundabouts, you know, feel no pain can spike. So that'd probably be the only change I'd make here, mate. If you just again, you need to be aggressive on this because you cannot get caught in a shootout because you do not have any long range guns. So, but yeah, just bear that in mind first. Honestly, mate, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be all right. If you wanted to get to it with Morty, the best thing I'd do is I'd have a chat with Dave in, yes, the video would very much be relevant, Zarduk, because you would have to, again, Blight Lords would be taking centre pit, stage board, the spawn would be going to those early staging points we talked about, whilst the Poxwalkers are like buying you time to stop them getting charged, or again, just infiltrating to be a threat. And then on the go turn, you're basically running out this unit of Chaos Spawn to get real good contagion somewhere. Same with this bloat drone, which is again why I prefer it to be a spawn, because then it can just go through walls and get to places easier. Then you uppy downy this the turn before, so it can come down. You expose the Blight Lord, you drop in all 3 squads of Death Shroud, try and make every 6-inch charge, be on top of your opponent, and then just fight for your life. Like, keep killing them, keep hanging in there, you know, pulsing out mortal wounds here, there, everywhere. Keep shooting, keep this squad of Blight Lords advancing, moving 10 a turn, shooting something, and then once you get close, you can just walk normally, shoot something, charge something. And then the Haulers can be the things that like, come and stand on the objectives afterwards. Or even the Poxwalkers, providing you haven't thrown them away. So yeah, it definitely would fit that sort of theme of like being the aggressive build. It definitely fits that, Zarduk. Christopher Latta, thank you very much. $2 Canadian Super Chat. Like the stream, play past. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. If you like the stream, really, really helps us. And Matthew Belcott as well. Thank you for becoming a Death Shroud. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. Make sure you get yourself in the Discord. Get yourself involved in all the good stuff going on here. And yeah, just again, instructions. If you become a member, YouTube channel homepage, hit the See Perks button. Go to there. There'll be a link to join the Discord. Once you're in the Discord, you want to go to your settings, which are in your bottom left corner. Connections, and then you link your YouTube and your Discord together, and it should automatically unlock everything together. And if you get any issues at all, just tag myself or Dave. I'm discussing Resident Evil on the server, and we'll help you sort stuff out. Sometimes Discord can be funny, but most time it's fine. Thank you for everything you're doing. Your videos have been extremely helpful. I'm very glad to hear, and as we said recently on a recent stream, I'm going to get back into making more educational videos. I've already got a video coming up. I've got two actually. It's got to be split. Which is one good list for every detachment, and it's not good as in like competitive high end. It's more like a good list that gives you the feel of the detachment, what makes it work. So like in the VV one, 100% expect to see the Demon Prince. You're not going to see Morty in the Demon Prince build because that's a very specific thing, but you will 100% see the Demon Prince in that build. Taliban, expect to see a great and clean ones. Sort of like, just so you can look at it. If you were sat there and like, I don't know what I want to play in this attachment, you can look at these lists and go, that's the one that resonates with me. And that sounds cool, so you can go try that one out. And then after that, we've just had our how to play Death Guard like a World Eaters. Following that, I'm going to do how to play Death Guard like Iron Hands, because there's still a lot of Plague Storm fans out there who doesn't love some tanks. So if you are a tank treadhead, you want to learn how to play Iron Storm, that's going to be the one that's probably coming up next. So you want to learn how to run amazing demon engines, Plague Burst Crawlers, Predators, Plague Buses, all on the same list. We'll cover it in that one of the playstyle that list puts forward. Chris Franson, Aiden, I've been thinking about the Foul Blightspawn Lord of Proxies Plague Marine Brick to support Demon Prince in VV. In this new World Eaters mare. Do you think that's enough to keep him alive? So it's a great deterrent. So it has but one weakness, and it's a weakness but not a weakness. So the great thing about it there, Chris, is obviously if they come to charge Demon Prince, you even use the free command point from Mr. Demon Prince friend. You heroic intervention into the squad, and then you fight first because of the Foul Blightspawn, and you kill them. He also keeps you a bit safe from advance and charge from berserkers because of the aura. Now the problem is, World Eaters have access in Blessing to 4-up fight on death. So it means that even if you fight first, they will still get to swing. Now, this being said, however, that does mean they need to make sure they take that, which means they're not taking either lethal, sustained, or dev wounds versus infantry. So you are, even though they might fight on death, and again, they've got to roll 4-up, so they might fight on death, they might not get to fight on death into your Plague Marines as much as they want to, they will have to give up some of that output to have that. So do bear that in mind. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but it's still net positive, and I think it is pretty good just to be able to, like you say, heroic into there and be like slam first, do a bunch of damage, kill a bunch of those berserkers, get them gone. Because if they also, when they fight on death, they don't get to use any stratagems, which means again they won't be able to get any plus AP or reroll wounds or anything if they're one of those detachments where they reroll wounds versus characters and stuff. So it does take away their their offensive output for the sake of giving them fight on death. So it's a great little deterrent. So it's a pretty good techie piece, and it's something I'm paying attention to right now. Kind of wish I maybe did take to a thingy. Unfortunately, obviously it loses you the like the crit 5s and stuff, but again, that's fine if you do like a melee squad for this specific role to keep him alive. If it does its job, that's all you really care about, and it still should hit really hard. So yes, I think it's a very good techie piece and a very good thing that needs testing a bit more, and so yeah, I think you're on the right path there. We just got to see how impactful it actually is in the game, but on paper it should be pretty good. Okay, Chuck, I'm sorry. I found a decision from LBG. What did you go with there, bud? So, a lot of contagion with Furnace of Plagues, a lot of contagion with Demon Fanagle, Tallyman. Okay, 2 Predator-Destructors. Okay, cool. I thought this was going to be pretty standard. Then we see the Predator-Destructors coming. So it's a lot of Virulence with Demon Fanagle. That's cool as well. I like that. I've actually gone for this setup in my build. I like having the LOV quite a lot. The buff is just so nice. Just super, super good. Yes, no worries. Dead Boy and Drag, find your list, tag me in it. We'll do it after this one, 100%. You find your own list in here, at me, and tag myself, and we'll do it right after this one here, buddy. Sorry about that, Dead Boy. So, 2 Predator-Destructors, again, this 2 Chaos Spawn, they're so annoying, they're so good. You've seen World Eater players running 3 of their units. Like, running 2 for us is becoming a no-brainer. A lot of lists for me right now. For 15 points more than Poxwalkers, it's starting to pretty good. Big 6-bricker Death Shroud Terminates here, probably going to be led by LOV or LOC. Let's have a look, see going on. So it looks like the LOV is going to be a solo boy. Don't mind that. Again, when all the other stuff's going on, last thing on someone's mind is dealing with that. Then we've got 2 normal fetid bloat drones, still a fantastic unit, 100 points. yeah, super good. We've got a Flesh Mole there to be a bit aggro, Plague Spitter to just a bit more board control, 2 HBL drones, 2 Mythic Blight Holes. Again, this is a really sort of standard shooting package you'll see, just to give it nice. You'll either see like triple HBL drone or 2 and 2, and sometimes when you go into like the more like hardcore VV, when it's more cut and dry, it's 3 HBL 2 haulers. But here we've also, let's not forget, we've got a double Predator Structure up here, so we've got double Predator Structures. So that the long range shooting, maybe you might look and go, oh, there's only 2 HBL drones. Then you've also got the 2 Predator Structures here to like have those long range firefights. So that's pretty good. Then at the very bottom here we've a Carnivore. Okay, love Carnivore. Carnivore is a cool little tech thing. It is kind of annoying to kill. 14 wounds is not the easiest thing to bring down. 5 vulnerable from shooting. It is fast. It's got pretty good OC. It's got 6 OC, which is important because it's enough to out OC a 5-man non-battle line unit, which you'll see in a lot of armies. You know, thinking like Rangers, you're thinking like Warp Spiders, you're thinking like 5 Blade Guard veterans or something like that, or 5 I don't know, 3 Death Shroud and a Lord. Like you'll out OC a lot of that. And it also just hits really hard. It's a great counterpunch unit. If someone wants to send a knight into like midfield to shoot you, just having this guy staged behind a wall ready to run out, because if he's in contagion, he's going to be hitting with sustained hits. At AP4s, you're going to clean through a knight's armor, and each single one's going to be D6 plus 2 damage. They can rip and tear, and the attention they demand, and they're so fast as well, you can put them in reserves, you can rapid ingress them in. It works either as an aggressive piece for early trading, an aggressive piece to flip primary, a rapid ingress piece to come in from reserves and bolt in, or he can play a defensive piece, sit in the middle of your lines, and he basically like a linebacker where he's like, woo, woo, woo. Like, so if your opponent's trying to come to your left, he shovels to the left. If they're coming to the right, he shovels to the right. And he's there to sort of just have that counterpunch in there, which is really, really awesome. So I do actually quite like the Carnivore. Now, it's quite a unique, different build. Obviously, we've gone away. There's no Plague Marines in this build here. Not the problem at all. So we're not really getting the most use out of our reroll hits and wounds. But again, that's not either there. The good thing is the LOV can go solo here. Still with Demon Predator, so you can still punch something. And then you can still give, don't get me wrong, even though you're not going to reroll the hits, it does mean the Lord of Contagion does double up as an LOV for the Death Shroud, because for 1 command point you give him 4 rerolls to wound with a shooting, so he's basically an LOVC. Which is pretty cool. But you still have Auto Explode, which you can have a lot of chances to do Auto Explode, a lot of chances to get cheeky healing off, especially with these Spitter and this Flesh Mode drone as well, and the Halls getting up close. And obviously spreading Contagion is going to be really good. You've spawn there. You get 2 units of spawn, which can, because again, VV's at Contagion spread is army wide, so having these guys on turn 2 go up to 9-inch Contagion range can set up this giant 6-man Death Shroud drop, which is going to be so hard for opponents to deal with, because again, with -1 damage upon that, absolute chunk to try and deal through, whilst you also worry about this Carnivore that's just arrived, whilst all these tanks are starting to shoot down anything that's sort of in the open. So I actually like that list, Chuck. It's very different, and that's what I like to see. A bit of experimentation. What were you going to say? You were debating it split into 2 3s. So I don't know what you went with, Chuck. I think right now, if I was to tell you, I think this 6 is good as a brick. I think the interesting thing right now is it really depends what you go against. The meta soap in the air, like, I think 2 3s works pretty damn well because you're not splitting some area, but also there is an attractive appreciation for just having a chunk. Now, because you've got so many guns, I would probably want this split into 2 3s personally. Because it also doesn't mean you don't have to do LOV solo, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would also rather, because he's got an enhancement as well, I'd rather him be in that squad. So I would personally go 2 3s, but I don't think it's not like game over if you've took the 6. It just performs a bit differently. It's more condensed. You got more, like, the defensive strat will get more value out of it on that unit. But you got to bear in mind, I'm an MSU player anyway. I prefer trading units. I prefer that kind of play style. So having 2 times 3 is better for me. But it might not be the case for you. But honestly, Chuck, I think you'll be fine either way. But personally, I would have gone 2 or 3. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's really, really cool, man. Love the list name as well. Look, I know Death Guard are strong. That's not my fault. I promise I was playing them in Index. I'm not just a filthy Death Guard player, not a filthy Death Guard meta chaser. Shout out Ollie Glasner, Palace massive. Appreciate the name there, Chuck. But yeah, I hope you take that to LGT, mate. I'll see you there at weekend as well, and we'll have a good time with it. We'll see how we get on, eh? And let's see how this Carnivore gets on, because I hope he gets a good tally. Mine killed like Despoiled and everything last time. It was great. I had an absolute great time. Right, Mr. Dead Boy, have you tagged me in yours, mate? Have you managed to find your post and tag us? Dead Boy, I don't know. Is your name Dead Boy in the Discord? Because that will be a Whip Dead Boy. No, it's not that. Because I'm gonna struggle to find you if your name is not the same as your YouTube name. So if you could tag us in it while you are here, it would help me cover it, mate. It just helps me find it. It means you don't have to sit here for like 10 minutes trying to find someone's list while everyone's wondering what the hell's going on. Okay, I got a tag. Here we go. I've got 2 tags. Okay, cool. It's Tentacles. So we've got Tentacles here. I'm watching just now. So we've got Tentacles. We got Sypheles. Ellie, have you put your list in yet, mate? Make sure you get that in and tag me in it as well. I'll check if you're the latest one. Up down here. Because again, I don't know if these are you or not. If you are here, 4 cans as well. You are, because you're a Blight Lord tip. I'll make this clear. So if you have you got the orange name? If you're Phoenix Toss and 4 cans. Please try and post your list in the Blight surgery. It's the only way we can order it to give a bit of priority. Just because I'd be here like literally. I could make a full-time job of this at this point. Okay, so your GGs are cool and your Sypheles. Excellent. Okay. Cool, that's fine. So you are here, right? Excellent. So we'll do yours after this one, mate. Right, it's Tentacles. I'm watching just now, discussing it. I have an RTT in 2 weeks, very undecided on list detachment. This is what I have at the moment. So we've got the Ballast Putrefied, a lot of VV tonight, a lot of VV, which is fine, it's a good detachment. Demon Prince and Nurgle, Lord of Contagion, Malignant Plaguecaster, Tallyman, Typhus. Okay. The big 10-man Plague Marine Brick inside the Rhino. We've got the 2 units Chaos Spawn, love these 2. We've got the 1 squad of Death Shroud Term Mage, which again I'm totally fine with. You can go 2, you can go 1. Then you've got the standard 3. You've gone 3-3. See 3-2 quite a lot. 3-3. Not too bad. Okay, so what I'll say straight off the rip here is this is fine. This is a good attack. This is good. It's good. Straight up, it's got everything you kind of want. I think the one thing I might consider changing here, and it's only because we're in a sort of meta for it, is maybe we drop this 3rd hauler here for third hauler here for another unit of Poxwalkers. But then what can we do with your 35 points? It's always the awkward thing here. It's always the awkward thing that I hate. So you could go like I would maybe, because you got triple HBL drone, I would also consider maybe making Typhus into an LOV. Neither here nor there. It just, so the question from me there to you would be, do you prefer the ability to like drop down, do mortals, because that's also good, and have that really nice damage flap 3 scythe. It's always good. That is a good choice to have. Or would you rather have the capacity to support your shooting fire base a little better and give all these HBL drones reliability? Because I personally err on the side of reliability, even though I love Typhus. I just like knowing my dice probably are going to like have decent rolls. But again, there's nothing wrong with Typhus. They're both defensively the exact same. So that's just a little choice you could make there for yourself. But in the game right now, I personally would try and get yourself another unit of Poxwalkers over the halls, because World Eaters are everywhere, like absolutely everywhere. Yeah, Tentacles, the points cost are super awkward. So what you could technically do, you could go like, you could drop a hauler, put a Poxwalker unit, and then maybe give like Arch Contaminator with the Biology Putrefied and the Malignant Plaguecaster, just so they will have, if they charge onto an objective, they'll have 4 rolls to wound. That takes you up to 90 points, you're only wasting 10 then. That doesn't feel too bad. But the alternative is, because here's the thing, right now, we need to have, so World Eaters are a very strong army. And the problem we got right now is World Eaters, and actually this was something I was debating actually in my head, was maybe Flesh Mode drones being the answer here actually. So you might want to actually make this into a Flesh Mode drone. In the World Eater matchup, the way they win is they come out with the spawn and not jackals, they want goremongers, and they kill your crap. They kill you, so they're trying to kill you off your Poxwalker screens. They're trying to kill off your things like that, because the idea is they kill them, and then you have to respond to those spawn stuff with actual units, and then they get the jump on you with their hammer units. You need to flip the table around. Now, our spawn fight their spawn pretty good, especially if you got minus 1 damage up as well, because they don't wound you on, they wound you on 4s, because they only go to strength 7, you're T7. we have obviously Splashback Mortals. We can obviously -1 damage it if playing VV. We've got the Feel No Pain's flat. So we fight decently well there against them. Poxwalkers actually do not as well. So what I'm thinking is, the problem with Haulers can go out and sit on a point. Now, Haulers can answer it pretty good because, again, Chaos Spawn World Eater Chaos Spawn might struggle to kill it because, again, unless they spike really high, they're hitting you on 4s, they're wounding you on 5s. It's only AP 1, so you're on 4 save, and again, you could -1 damage it if you wanted to. Especially if you've got a Demon Prince lingering around, just try and stay 12 inches away, which you do, and then give it -1 damage for 1 CP. The problem there is that, and the good thing is the Hauler is 3 OC, the Spawn are 2 OC, so that means if he wants to take you off the point, he has to either go and put another unit of spawns, that's 2 for 1 in now, so then you can kill those 2, great, and you need 2 spawn dead at least gone. Or, he has to put something like Goremongers onto it, and Goremongers we can just pick up by sneezing at them. So that's fine, so you're forcing 2 of his training units out of him. So I was thinking maybe we start looking at bringing Flesh Mode drones, not for the idea of being aggressive, but in the World Eaters match. So in other games they become aggressive, but against World Eaters, you sit it on a point because the Flesh Mower has the same defensive profile as the Hauler. You can -1 damage it, all that stuff, but it also slaps back the spawn harder. So the spawn come in, charge it, don't kill it, and then you grind away with 10 attacks at 7-2-2. So you hit on 3s, win on 3s, you take it to a 6-up save and 2 damage each. So you might pop one. I don't know if you kill both, but then obviously in your turn, because it's a drone, you can fall back, recharge into that spawn, tank shock it if you want to, and kill it. And you'll fight first because you have the charge back on it. So now, like, that spawn is like not only not going to get the job done, but then there's a good chance that normally you'd have to bring something else out to help the Hauler get free, unless the multi-metal pops to both 4s and it just kills them, which would be awesome. But you can't just rely on that. Whereas the mower is both he is the answer to surviving it. He has the 3 OC to out OC it, and if they don't kill him, he's also his own. He can free himself from jail because he hits them back in their turn. Your turn comes along, he hops out away from them, he charges back in. You could tank shock it if you want to, and then you hit them first and you kill them. Because I don't think they survived 2 rounds of that thing. So that is something to maybe consider there. So I would actually consider maybe making this into a Flesh Mode drone, just one of them, and just give it an experiment and see how it goes. Hopefully my logic there makes sense to people. Again, I've not really tested it myself, but if you're listening, let me know if that logic makes sense, what I'm trying to say. Because sometimes I think I'm crazy, but I think that one actually makes sense in a weird way. So it could be a cool little tech thing. We could start bringing in Flesh Mode drones for defensive reasons, which sounds very strange. And again, if they want to bring out some like 8-bound to come and kill it, like if they want to send out 3 exalted 8-bound to kill a Flesh Mode drone, cool. We'll kill them back more than happily. Like, that's a good trade for us, because then they're down one of their anti-tank options. We've lost a single drone. You've still got 6. You've still got 5, sorry. So yeah, the idea we want to get them to waste their hammers on those non-important units. So yeah, just consider that though. But I think this is a really solid list, mate. I think it's a really, really solid list. It's nice VV. We've got all the bells and whistles you need. Just again, you just understand you've got a little bit more shooting. So for me, I'd probably have like another here. Like I said, turn it to a Flesh Mode maybe, just for a bit more aggressive play. But you've got plenty of contagion spread in there as well. So yeah, it looks super, super solid. Super, super solid. And you got time on to hold on as well. So yeah, I do like that. Again, that's be the one thing I would consider there. I think the detachment here is the right one to play. I don't think you take Demon Prince in any other detachment. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's tough enough. So I don't think he's value outside of VV. So I think I would... this list you've got here works the best in VV. Doesn't have enough characters to make Cock work. I mean, it's not far off. You don't need many characters to make Cock work. But again, I think this list would translate well into COC. And all you would have to do, literally, to make this list work in COC would be to... The Demon Prince goes away, and then you bring in the second squad of Death Shroud Terminators, and then you can use the points to basically either get yourself another squad of Poxwalkers or something, if you've got the 10 points there for it, because again, 215 saved here. Or you can upgrade Typhus to another LOC. Then you've got double Death Shroud, double LOC, LOV, Typhus, whatever you want it to be, plus the big 10-man Plague Ring Brick, supported by double Chaos Spawn Demon Engines. Like, that is super staple. That is super, super staple. So yeah, very, very good. You're onto a winning list there. Again, just get comfortable. Try the different attachments. Do you prefer playing with your VV or do you prefer playing with your Cock? Pretty simple. I actually kind of like the mower drone even to mingle with your pox. So if someone charges them, natural, they have to pile in and fight the drone. Yeah, that's also really good because again, because Poxwalkers basically less than an inch, they cannot charge the Poxwalkers and not get into combat with the flesh mower, so they have to declare them both. And even then, like the flesh mower can then just get involved in the fight, slap him. If he doesn't kill them all, he falls back and charges them again and fights first. So yeah, they're also very good for that. Just bear in mind the one annoying thing, I wish they had a rule that let them heroic. They can't heroic because they're not walkers, which is super annoying. Yes, you are correct. So Sypheles, the Great Pox. Okay, so it made some changes. I really liked Hank's list, but I wanted to shove an LOV in there. Okay, so Anals of Amherst. So we've got a Demon Prince of Nurgle with the Fell Harvest. Okay. So again, I'm not 100% sold on Demon Princes outside of there, but the +2 attacks and that takes him up to 9 attacks, which is not terrible. And he's still T12. And the thing is, he has a different role. He plays a bit into the chunk because you've got T12 here, T13 here, potentially T12, T13 here. So he actually plays into the skew a bit better whilst being cheaper than a Great Unclean one. So don't mind that. The reason I'm not huge on Demon Princes is because I don't feel like Taliban has such good strats that you need 3 strat. But again, I understand the T12 skew, so I'll let that slide. I think it's fine. It's fine. Lord of Virulence, Taliban. So then we got Blight Lord Terminated, so he's going to go with Lord of Virulence, so you got a nice big shooty squad here. 1 HBL drone, 2 HBL drone, 1 Reflect Blight Lord, 2 Reflect Blight Hawk, 2 Poxwalkers, and then Night Despoiler. Okay. So now this is a bit more interesting because... Right, okay, so the cool thing here is the one thing the Demon Prince does do that the Great Unclean don't do is it's loan up. So you just shove some guys near it and you get loan up, which is really cool, and you got some Poxwalkers to do that, excellent. So you can basically... What this means is, when you put loan up on a certain place, if you measure out your 12 inches, you basically get to say, hey, if you want to shoot my Demon Prince, you have to be in one of these spots, and as long as you line up something like, I don't know, a Despoiler, so that it can react to one of those spots, you'll be more than fine. Oh, by the way, change this melter gun to another stubber. You should never be in range to be shooting that melter. Just take the stubber shots. So that load-up can actually force pretty bad choices from them there, so then he can just blast it away. So do not mind that. And again, if he dies, it's 205 points. So again, it's not the biggest issue in the world there. So I wouldn't exactly be too upset there. Now you have got a Blight Lord Terminators here and the Lord of Virulence. You could make an argument for just rocking the Lord of Virulence solo. 5 Blight Lords is not the worst thing in the world. I obviously prefer them with a bit more. They don't have super tons of like synergies inside here. If you love him, that's fine. But you can also just feel free to run him solo as well and then get another HBL drone just so you have that really nice long-range shooting firepower always buffed up. Because again, when you've got a Rotogus on an objective, a Great Unclean one on an objective, a Demon Prince loan up somewhere, the last thing people are probably going to be thinking about is shooting your Lord of Virulence. But you could also turn him into a Death Shroud squad. I do not mind Death Shroud and Lord of Virulence here because again, it gives you that 6-inch deep strike, like you're not playing with the rest of the detachment. A lot of people you'll see will run the 6-inch deep strike. Now, I know you don't have to, so there's nothing wrong with that. You're playing on the board chunk off the start. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, you've got some Demon Engines to sort of bait people out as well. Bit of shooting firepower. I like the shooting firepower. I think... Like, overall, it's pretty solid. Like, obviously, it's took some points cuts, so you don't have as many, like, Hank's list works mainly with, like, more Demon Engines. You obviously eschewed that to go with the Blight Lords. Because, like, for example, if you were to say right now, like, you could drop the Blight Lords, you drop the Lord of Virulence, you drop the Entropic Knell, and now you pick up 3 normal bloat drones. Like, it's a little hard to argue with that value there. But at the same time, like, I'm not against this. I'm not against the Lord of Virulence here. I just want to make sure he's getting value. So you're going to be buffing this, you're going to be buffing this, you're going to be buffing this, and obviously buffing them. So yeah, he gets decent value. I don't think it's bad. I do not think it's bad at all. I think I'm still unsure on the Demon Prince of Nurgle. I think the Demon Prince would probably just be better. Like, if you could find the points to turn into another Great Unclean one, just to really lean into that T13 skew. But that being said, like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, in all honesty. It's really not the biggest deal. I would also like to potentially see some Nurglings. I just love the fact that Nurglings can do, like, such nonsense in this list. For just, like, oh, you don't have this sticky, though, so yeah, not as good. Like, the Hank's list works because it's so basically just all chunk, all engine, all bang bang. And you've got most of it there. Again, that's why this feels like a bit out of place to a lot of villains. But if you love him, again, choice for me would be either to run him solo and then get another HBL drone and just use him as a support piece, stood at the back marking targets. Because again, people aren't really going to be focused on shooting him while the other stuff exists. Or you drop that full package and you get yourself another Great Unclean One in here and you just go triple Great Unclean One. Triple Great Unclean One, Demon Prince, and then what you could even pick up some extra points there because you're gonna have 35 floating points. So and then you drop that, gets you 50 floating points. That potentially could then get you something. I can't remember what Beast and Nurgle is these days. But yeah, have a think about it like that. In all honesty, I just don't. I like Blight Lords, but I feel like Blight Lords tend to work better when they're in those big chunky squads, and you can just absolutely obliterate something with shooting. I feel like that if you're going for MSU Terminators, Death Shroud just do it better. So like I would happily have a lot of Virulence in 3 Death Shroud, and then you float those 25 points into 40 points here. So that's 40 points. You could even get rid of Fell Harvester. That's 55 points. Get another Tallyman just to screen out home, but again, CP is not super important. A lot of shooting here. I think for me personally, so if I was to make a change to the list, I would just run your Lord of Virulence solo. I'd run him solo, drop the Entropic Knell, get yourself another HBL drone, and then maybe like a spawn or a spawn, another unit of Poxwalkers, or one of the Demon Beasts and Nurgle. They're also really annoying to do. I think that would probably be like one of the better ways to get most out of this. I don't know if the Blight Lords do enough, but again, if you wanted some Terminator, I'd probably go Death Shroud. I don't think it's bad though. Like 5 Blight Lords will be fine. They just don't really have any like super synergy in here. Like they don't really get any use out of the strats. Like they can real hit rolls on the charge if they're in combat with a Demon Prince. It's not too bad. Like it's okay, but they don't really hit hard enough to warrant that. So for me personally, I think I'm on team. I think I'm on team either Death Shroud or team just more engine. Because again, if you've got another HBL drone in here, the Lord of Virulence actually becoming more valuable. And you're floating 65 points bang on, so that could get you a third squad of Poxwalkers. Like that would be super easy. Like Blight Lord's out, another HBL drone in, another unit of Poxwalkers, boom. Like that there to me sounds like a really nice easy change to make. But yeah, give it a whirl, see how it goes, see how much value you feel like you're getting out of the Demon Prince. Feel like if 2 Great Unclean Ones is enough, then obviously the normal one, the Bragus. Do you want another third one in there? That's somewhere you could go with the list potentially. But again, you've got a lot of shooting firepower here. You want to basically just say, hey, deal with Chunk while all these guns shoot you. So you've got the guns, you've got the Despoiler here. You could potentially have up to 3 HBL drones. You've got 2 Mythic Blight Haulers, and then you've got the Chunk. So I think it's pretty good. It will stat check a lot of people, and no doubt about that. For me, just the oddball is just this Blight Lord Terminator squad. Not even the LOV as much. I don't mind the LOV, especially if you're rocking these Blight Lance drones. Just makes your shooting a lot more reliable. But yeah, the Blight Lords just feel a little bit out of place. You don't always have to have a unit with your characters, especially if he's just there to do a supporting role. And again, he can do actions as well while he's doing that supporting role, which is really good. So yeah, have a consider those things, Sypheles. And hopefully give you some ideas there, mate. Right, I'll do this final. Did I not say to? I did. Yeah, I said to thank you. So I have to do this final one as GG easy because time is clicking on. I'll try and get another one in this week at some point. I am obviously down at London this weekend, so there'll be no Blight surgery this weekend. But I will try and get something up and done before then. Do not worry again. We'll do Blight surgeries every week if possible. Got a bit off put last week because of Balanced Data Slate coming out, but I'll always try my best. So GG easy. We've got Typhus, Barrage Putrefire, Foul Blight Spawn, a lot of Contagion, a lot of Virulence, Malignant Plague Bus. So we also have going for a Plague Bus. Oh no, we're going 2. Okay, 2 squads 10 Plague. Okay, 2 big squads 10 Plague Marines. Okay, so 2 squads 10 Plague Marines, 2 squad Death Shroud Terminators. We've got 2 Rhinos. I'm going to assume we get 2 Rhinos. We've got a Plague Burst Crawler, 1 Fetid Blow and 2 Fetid Blow Drone, 1 Poxwalker, 2 Poxwalker. Okay, so what I'm going to say here, right off the rip, is... So, what have we got? So, champions. So, these champions are Contagion. So, we're going to have potentially fight first on the squads. They're also going to be able to get crit 5s. So, that means Malignant Playcaster plus something else can get crit 5s. Yeah, so 1 has the Battle Spirituefire one, has a Plaguecaster, the other one has a Plaguecaster and a Fatal Blightspawn. So they're both going to be able to fight first if possible and on when. You've got Lord of Virulence and a lot of contagion. So Lord of Virulence in this right here is probably not the play. Only because you only have one thing that's benefiting from it, that's the Plague Burst Crawler. I would probably just make that Typhus. Because the Typhus hits harder in close combat. He gives the squad the durability bonuses. And he's got the Mortal Wound aura as well. Sorry, my nose is really itchy because I've got my give me a sec, I'm just going to mute myself. My allergies are like playing up. I'm just going to have to go sneeze. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would probably swap him straight out for Typhus there. I think that would be a good little change just there to make that second Death Shroud squad a little scarier in melee as well, because then you've got the flat 3 damage weapon in there, which is always nice to have. Champions of Contagion really likes CP. So there's already a Typhus in there. Okay, there's already Typhus. So yeah, so Typhus goes with one of them. I would drop this LOV then, in all honesty. This LOV, honest to God, I would try and get a Taliman. So, Cock is very CP heavy. It's very, very expensive. So is that, sorry. Something else. So yeah, for me, I think I would want a Taliman at least in here. I have seen people run 2 Taliman, use them to screen out home, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could easily drop this LOV into double Taliman, because then you can use them to screen out home, which allows you to use these Poxwalkers further upfield, which is going to get a lot more value out of them. Now, you also, that being said, you do have a Plague Burst Crawler. So Plague Burst Crawlers typically are too expensive these days outside of Mortarian's Hammer. Now, again, I'm only talking if you're playing super competitive. If you're playing just like learning to play and stuff, there's nothing wrong with PBC. Show some entry cannons on it. It's got some long range shooting. It's got some indirect. It's a great little tool to have. I do not like think it's a bad thing for some. Again, if we're talking like competitive level, you're not going to see a Plague Burst Crawler in Champions more than likely. But for what it is, I wouldn't worry too much. Like again, I wouldn't stress about it. There's nothing wrong with having it there. But it's basically your only thing of long range shooting at the moment here. So this plays into 2 things. You have a decision to make. You either keep with not much long range shooting and go to a very heavy aggressive build, in which case then you're looking at these flesh mowers are great for that here, so I like that there. So I would drop like this Lord of Virulence and try and get a unit of Chaos Spawn, because then that's going to set up your double Death Shroud drop. So you have that turn where both Rhinos drive out, maybe one disembarks to shoot something, the Spawn move, run, get something in contagion range, the Death Shroud's now dropping, the Flesh Mowers then come out on the same turn. That overwhelming turn of force. So I would rather have a unit of Chaos Spawn over this Lord of Virulence up here, but at the same time, I kind of want you to try and find a Taliman. And again, it's why this Plague Burst Crawler could decide like where the list kind of goes, because this Plague Burst Crawler sitting at home at the moment could, for 210 points, could easily become a lot more. Like it could that could be you could keep all this up here. That could become your Chaos Spawn. And you're floating 20 points for the Lord of Virulence if he becomes a Chaos Spawn. So this floating, so really it's 230 points if this and that LOV go. So those 230 points can get you then, you know, you're 10 points off potentially getting a... so you could drop Visions of Virulence here. You could just drop that, because that's not a good enhancement, I'll tell you that now. And that there would let you get 2 HBL bloat drones, but again, that makes you want to keep the LOV, so maybe you don't go about that way. But you could get, for that, you got, what, 210, 230, so you get 245 points from that. Like, that's... like, you know, 2 extra demon engines for, like, Mythetic Blight Haulers, for example, for that aggressive push moving up and it's still floating 45 points, so you're like 5 points off. So if this list is bang on 2k out, maybe it's like a bit under. Again, that could be the difference that gets you a Tallyman on home. So for me, while I'm looking at it, it's a question of how you want to play it. Now, because you've got 10 mans, this tells me that you want to be this tells me it's a go-turn army, because you can't trade 10-man Plague Marines. It's too expensive. So what I would ask you is, do you want to play aggressive? Do you want to be like all that big Okay, Birchie, I'm not going to say no, because actually a Land Raider here and replacing a Chaos Rhino would actually be mega funny, and also play into the aggression really well. It's a very specific, it's a very Zito thing to do, but I have seen it done. It's a crazy thing to do, but how many points Land Raider is it? 240 these days? So you drop Visions of Virulence, that gives you 100 points, and a Rhino, that gives you 310 points, which would then be 240 points, you're floating 70, and you get a third squad of Poxwalkers or a Tallyman at home. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing. Okay, so that would be an explosive turn. That would, and obviously I'm not going to tell you to go buy a Land Raider, because that's the thing. But so if you want to make this on an explosive turn, so you could go to a Land Raider build. Like, that is genuinely a thing you could do. So I'll put that out there. But realistically, you're probably going to drop the Plague. You need to probably get rid of the Plague Bus Crawler. Pick up a Tallyman just to stand in your objective. Plague Bus is also pretty good. Plague Bus can be pretty damn good as well. Again, 2 Plague Casters in a bus as well. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, like 2 Blight Haulers would be great instead of these. Into this 2. So this 2 10 points could instantly become 2 Blight Haulers. Drop the Lord of Virulence, that gets you a Tallyman or 2 to screen home. Or you could try and find the points. You get the Lord of Virulence up here. You drop him. He gives you 80 points for a spawn. Get the 20 points plus the 15. Yeah, that's 35 points plus 40 and 45 there. That's almost getting you a Tallyman. And you just still have 195 points on top of that to get like a hauler. And again, if you I don't know if you bang on the money or if you're 5 points down, that could potentially get you a second hauler. The one thing I want you to do when you think this list is on that explosive turn, I want you to have, basically when you go an explosive, you don't want 210 points sat at home. You don't. You want to be up in your opponent's grill. You want the cheapest amount of screen you can get on home to get away with. So Tallyman, Poxwalkers, string them out, done. Everything else, sent aboard, send it. So this PBC, just all I want you to do is just change this. That's it. Again, we try not to tell people to rewrite the list from the ground up. You could do some weird Land Raider pivot here, but just straight up here to get this to a very aggressive playstyle, I want you to try and get either a unit of Chaos Spawn in here or 2 more like fast aggressive Demon Engines. So again, whether that's going to be 2 haulers, anything like that, and basically they're going to be the things that sort of move up at the same time. Yeah, I think. So, yeah, something like that. Something like that, Eli, sorry, not Ellie. Eli. Something like that, yeah. So just something to focus more on that aggressive push so that you can because you want to make sure your Contagions in the right areas so your Death Shroud can drop in, so that's what Spawn are really good for. Then the fake Blight Halls are just good for pushing up. They're also, the reason I like Halls as well is they're self-sufficient. If they're shooting at vehicles and monsters, they're +1 to hit and wound, so they're nice, self-sufficient. They don't really rely on other buffs. So that, for me, would probably make me the happiest in this one. I think that there would probably get you the most impact right off the rip, especially playing Champions Contagion, because you have that big go turn where, and bear in mind, you don't have to get outside the Rhino on the go turn, just expose, drive up around, threaten the Rhinos. One squad can get out and shoot something. You can get both out if it means it, but don't lock into your head that I have to get out the Rhino on the go turn. Just do it when it feels right, but pressure with the Rhino. The Rhino drives up. The fact it's there is threatening. The Death Shroud drop in, they make 6-inch charges, they go in, kill things, the Flesh Mowers are going around. Just so basically, first turn, Poxwalker's infiltrating should be the only thing that really goes on, but you are looking to preserve as much as your army, because you don't have guns. You want to preserve as much, you want to lose as little as possible the first turn. And then turn 2, if it's right, if it feels like it's the moment, full fucking send it. Like, just lob that bastard out there. People use rat ogres. Honestly, if you look at D&D miniatures, people use, like, big slugs, anything like that. Like, genuinely, as long as you can get 250mm bases, shove anything on it that looks remotely, like, I've seen people, like, just get Play-Doh and stick googly eyes on it for all anyone cares. Like, it's a spawn. Like, they can literally be anything. So you'll find plenty of discussions. If you just put that topic in like the Warhammer 40k or the competitive channel on the Discord, mate, people will give you all sorts of suggestions. So don't worry about that. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking there, Eli. So hopefully that helps you get an idea there, mate. Hi, Dave. How you doing, Dave? Right, that's all we've probably got time for though for tonight. So thank you everybody for tuning in. So special for reaching 14k subs. I mean, I have to honour my cheese stream after London, which I'm already dreading. So we could potentially consider it. Yeah, I forgot that was actually a thing. I don't know what we're on at the moment. Hopefully we're getting towards that point. Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Hopefully, you know, slowly but surely, we'll keep it growing the best we can. So keep an eye out on the content coming up again. Talks about those list videos. We've got talk about the how to play like an Iron Hands coming up. And yeah, I'll try and get an infection critical up as well at some point, so you guys can have a bit of a look into what's performing well for Death Guard. Your streams will continue, trying to get more learning content out there. The playing like a worldie is the aggressive playstyle was really well received. Super happy with how that went down, even if YouTube's being an asshole and hiding half the views from me, which is very annoying, very frustrating. But I'm glad to have such positive comments. I'm actually going to make sure I reply to all those comments in the morning as well, because I have read them all, but I need to make sure I sit down with some time and go through them. Just been a bit hectic at the moment. So yeah, how many pot songs do I have? I have like 120, I think, and like 50 more like on spree. I don't know why I have that many. Just I had a lot of zombies. So yeah, right. I'm going to go and take care of a very ill girlfriend. Natalie's not very well at the moment. She's normally should be next to me, painting, typing, playing her games. She's in bed currently with the dog, with Kirby, because she's not feeling very well. So can we get an F in the chat for that? And I'll thank you for the subscription, mate. Really appreciate that, Oho. Is it Oho? Oho, wait, yeah. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Evening. I will see you tomorrow with Dave and the boys. Reginald Rusty himself. And then, yeah, we'll see how London goes this weekend. We'll be talking about our list tomorrow, so tune in for that one. Should be good fun. And until the next one, I will catch you all, on the next stream/video. So take care, everybody. Have a good time. I will see you all very shortly. Stay rotten. Take care. Bye-bye. I always can miss the button. Where's the damn... There it is.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave warden stir!
Yeah, I'm just going to go make sure she's live and breathing, so I'm going to cut the music short. Sorry, guys. See you later, boys. Take care.